And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Internet world. So, I'm going to talk about a subject I've thought about making a video about, and I just never have. It's dealing with SJWs, dealing with snowflakes. And this comes about because of the main reason I'm making this video is because it deals with someone that was a part of my life, remotely a part of my life for a little while. And hey, I'm an atheist, but I have no problems with people believing in whatever they believe in. For example, in Maine, and these people are acting like SJWs. In Maine, there's a group of atheists who are mad because there's a Bible on a table in memory and honor of MIAs and POWs at a VA hospital. I have no problems with that book being there. It's just a book. Nobody is forcing anybody to believe in what it says. Nobody's forcing anybody to read it. The vast majority of those people that died, went missing, you know, if you look at the information, you will know that we left people behind in Vietnam. And our government knew about it. The vast majority, and they're dead now for sure, but the vast majority of those people were Christians. They have every right to have their faith acknowledged. Their families have if it brings them comfort, fine. I'm an atheist. And I'm a lowercase a atheist, not an uppercase a atheist. Frankly, the vast majority of people that claim to be atheist, I can't stand because they're not atheists. They worship the state. They're a bunch of socialist pigs. Anyway, so now that I've said that, they're acting like snowflakes because, oh no, there's a book on the table. I can't handle that. Really? Well, I don't have a problem with it. I happen to have some Bibles over here. I happen to have a copy of the Quran. It doesn't do me any harm. My wife is in the other room. It doesn't do her any harm. One of my stepdaughters is in the other room. Doesn't do her any harm. But this particular person acted like a freaking snowflake because we disagree on something. Because we disagree on guns. He unfriended me, probably blocked me. He has a YouTube channel, though. I found that out yesterday. I haven't watched it, not going to watch it. So I have no idea if he has anything legitimate to say about anything or not. I saw that he had a 100 subscriber giveaway, but my old channel, I had a lot more subscribers than that. I don't want a lot of subscribers now. But snowflakes, if you disagree with them, they get mad, they go off running and crying. That's what he did. They don't listen to anything. They have their minds made up about things, and no matter what the facts are, they're going to run with it. Look at gun control. Look at gun control. Look at Baltimore. Oh my gosh, I saw a news report just today or yesterday about all the gun violence, not gun violence, violence where guns are used in Baltimore. And it's a heavily gun control, I mean, they have heavy gun control in Maryland. DC is another example. New York, California, Oregon, Washington. You know, more people die each year in automobile accidents than guns being used to kill them. More people die each year from knives than guns being used. But you try to present these facts and they go LOL, they block you, they unfriend you, they have their mind made up, and if anything, if the facts contradict what they believe, they get mad. I've seen videos, SJW videos. You can look these up. They're SJW Central, I think, is one of the good channels. or people will actually start crying because their assumptions are challenged and shown to be false. The things that Hillary Clinton has said and done. There are videos where they quote Obama concerning immigration. And so this person, it's like he's not going to listen to anything. He has his mind made up. These people are acting like toddlers. They act like toddlers. They act like little children. Their feelings get hurt and they go off crying. They're not going to listen to anybody. They pout, they cry, they stomp their little feet. Are you an adult or are you a child? And in this particular case, this person is in our schools. These are the kind of people in our schools. These are the kind of people teaching our children. Are they teaching our children not to think, but just to regurgitate what they've been told, even if what they've been told is not true? Do people not investigate? I mean, anyone who thinks Donald Trump is a conservative has something to learn, because Donald Trump is not pro-life. In another video, I've provided this information. It's called Why I Do Not Support Trump. Donald Trump is not pro-life. He is not pro-Second Amendment. The Republicans have done more for gun control than the Democrats have. Look at Ronald Reagan. His egregious gun control laws when he was president. His racist gun control laws when he was governor of California. My camera just froze. My camera froze for a second. And now we have Trump, who, remember, he was a Democrat. Okay, and I don't like his attitude. I don't like his personality. I don't like how he treats women. But Bill Clinton treated women even worse. I mean, Bill how they're moving further and further to the left. Yeah, he's on this kick that somehow the Republicans are conservative when they're not. I've shown this book before. I'm going to show it again. The Nazis were socialist. Like it or not, the Nazis were socialists. And if you read the Nazi literature, you'll find that they were socialists. Now, there are a lot of socialists out there who will quietly, in private, admit this. But there are far more, it seems, who honestly believe it's not true. But when you show them the evidence, they still refuse to believe it. It's just like these snowflakes. Now they're saying, well, Venezuela, North Korea, Red China, Cuba, the former Soviet Union, the former Soviet bloc, none of these are or were really socialist countries, even though they were and are. Okay, in some cases were, in some cases are. And I find it so surprising that people from my generation and the generation ahead of me who grew up in the Cold War would fall for socialist BS. What's about to happen in this country is scary. What is happening in this country is scary. When you have the GOP and the Democrats both calling for gun control, both are pro-abortion. Now some might say, well, Seamus, this state and that state, they outlawed abortion. 2 states, not at the federal level. At the federal level, during Trump's first 2 years, Trump and the GOP, all they did was talk about defunding Planned Parenthood. And they didn't do it. The GOP tricked me in the 90s with the Republican Revolution. Not doing it again. Fool me once. That's all it takes. I saw it. I've seen it. I remember back then, somebody called the Rush Limbaugh show, and the guy is saying, well, what about, the Republicans saying they're pro-life, but then look at how they don't do anything to end abortion. And this is when the Republicans had a majority. And Limbaugh said, well, incrementalism. No. If you really believe it, do it. And incrementalism, I see what incrementalism has gotten us. Less freedom. We're all the people that were protesting Standing Rock. Well, now that Trump's in power, they weren't really protesting Standing Rock because they believed in it, but because it was an Obama administration thing. Well, now that Trump's doing it, it's okay, or we're just not going to talk about it. You have the Patriot Act, the USA Patriot Act. I don't hear people talking about that anymore. It's still out there. Obamacare is still out there. Maybe not as it was, but it's still there. Real ID, where are people? What happened? You oppose the Patriot Act, you oppose Real ID. Real ID is going ahead. At least here in New Hampshire we have a choice. Well, we don't really have a choice. Because here in New Hampshire you can choose to have a non-Real ID driver's license, but the data is still given to the federal government. And they don't need that information. It's interesting how people are talking about how there's all this censorship against conservatives and libertarians, and there is. But the Republicans keep getting more and more votes, not fewer votes, they get more votes. Someone had told me, well, you need to support the GOP because if you support the GOP, you're going to get what you want. No, I see what supporting the GOP has gotten us. Okay, Trump is GOP now. Look at all the GOP senators and congressmen calling for red flag laws. If you want less gun control, you can't vote Republican or Democrat. By voting Republican, you're going to get what they're doing. And what they're doing is gun control. Red flag laws, bump stock ban, If you've had a single DUI, you will be banned for life from owning a gun. This is the Trump administration doing this. The Republicans have done more for gun control than the Democrats. Yet people keep supporting them and keep voting for them, and what are you going to get? You're going to get the same thing over and over again. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And that's what, people are brainwashed. This propaganda that's out there is actually helping the Republicans, who are actually leftist, not conservatives. They are on the left. They support abortion. They support gun control. They support the surveillance state. They support the prison state. We live in a scary world. What really worries me is what might happen this winter. Because we live in let me tell you, this is the opposite of Texas. Texas has summer for 6 to 9 months out of the year. We have winter for about 5 or 6 months out of the year. And our winters are long, very cold, with lots of snow. Try bugging out when there's 5 feet of snow out there and a blizzard. And it's minus 40 degrees. And the wind's blowing at 50 miles an hour. Most people will not survive that. When they come for your guns under red flag laws, they will kick your door in at midnight. You will not be ready. You will not be expecting it because you will not know about it. California, Vermont, Florida, they all have red flag laws, and they are confiscating guns. And these confiscations aren't doing anything to reduce crime. Nothing whatsoever. So to me, there are a lot of people on the right that are SJWs, because you provide them the information calmly, politely, and they act just like the far left does. They stomp their feet and run away. They refuse to listen to facts. You can put all the facts in front of them that you want, and they're just going to keep believing whatever they want. Abraham Lincoln was an effing dictator. He was a dictator. The South was a sovereign nation. Okay, my family served in the South, even though some of my family were Yankee lovers. Actually, a famous incident with one of my family members involved. In 1864, February of 1864, in North Carolina. And they are referred to as, North Carolina's Forgotten Heroes. That's what my relative is referred to. He's a part of that group. I don't consider him a hero. Hey, if you want to deal with slavery, you got to deal with the North. The Emancipation Proclamation did nothing. Okay, it was trying to make law for another country. You can't do that. Or you can do it all you want, but it has no meaning in the country that you're trying to make a law in. The North, if you look at the Emancipation Proclamation, it's only talking about freeing slaves in the states that are fighting for their freedom. It doesn't say that northern states have to get rid of slavery, and not all northern states were free. They just weren't. And my family suffered under Lincoln. I do not like Lincolnites. And anyway, we live in a sad world when people don't listen, when people don't examine, when people just go off sound bites. These people that I've stopped listening to that I mentioned, Ben Shapiro, Denise D'Souza, and others, they're just propagandists, and they give these presentations, but there's no debate, there's no discussion. There's a Q&A, but a Q&A is different from a discussion or a debate. Okay, you don't have a whole lot of time, and a lot of these people that do stand up for the Q&A don't know anything to begin with. They're just going off what they've been told to say. But I would challenge every single, Ben Shapiro and the rest. Ben Shapiro has called for gun control. Ben Shapiro has lied about Ron Paul. Denise D'Souza lied about, I don't remember his name, he's a famous 60s radical. And, and he didn't correct himself. And Ben Shapiro has not corrected himself. I just don't listen to these people anymore. If you're going to be dishonest about one thing, if you correct yourself, that would be something. But when you refuse to correct yourself, I'm just going to stop listening to you. You lie. It's not a mistake, it's a lie. And, I find that people on the left, which is also many of the people on the right now, are just, they act like little children. I mean, you stomp your feet, cry, and throw a fit because somebody dares to disagree with you. You can't be friends with someone. Here's some things to think about. Thomas Jefferson. Oh no, Thomas Jefferson had slaves, so we can't mention him. Thomas Jefferson said something about, I don't let politics, religion, or philosophy stop me from being friends with somebody. I don't let that stop me from being friends with somebody. I can disagree with you, but I will defend your right to the death to say it. I don't hear the left saying that anymore. I don't even hear people on the right saying it. I said it when I was on the left. I say it now. I believe in it. I stand by it. It's important to have knowledge of your opponent's ideas and beliefs and practices. Otherwise, you can't argue against what they have to say. It's just surface. Everything's on the surface. It's like Ben Shapiro and D'Souza. Everything is just surface. It's nothing in detail, nothing in depth. And I'm tired of it, and I'm very, very scared, very, very afraid of where this country's going and what's going to happen to us. When I say us, I mean my family. What happens in socialism? What happens to people in socialism that don't work? We saw what happens to them in Germany in the 40s, didn't we? Have a good day.